Jordan Crawford, founder at Blueprint GTM, with us here today. Thank you, Jordan, for joining us. And he's going to talk about firing your SDRs.
All right, great. So my name is Jordan Crawford, and this is the hottest of hot takes for me. So fire your SDRs. So I run a company called Blueprint. We help companies do scaled go-to-market. So basically, we answer this question of, can you scale your SDR team without scaling the worst of messaging? And people think about this as a choice between either you send one-to-one emails about the college that someone went to and you have your SDRs like writing those emails, or you send a bunch of bad emails at scale. I did also represent the US in the World Junior Badminton Championships. Do not ask me how it went. We got crushed. Even the best badminton players on the US team just got destroyed. So your SDRs are making buying worse. The SDRs are doing too much. We're throwing bodies at this problem. It's a super complex problem, and teams need to invest more time and money to understand the problem, iterate, and improve. You cannot improve a process that you cannot control. And this is absolutely important. So some stats here: 77% of B2B buyers state their latest purchase was very complex or difficult. And that's because they have to have a conversation with 50 different reps, and those reps are all telling them you got to buy now. And those reps are incentivized to sell the customer, not to find the best fit for the customer, not to provide the best experience. And that's a problem. And your sales representatives have about 5% of a customer's time during a buyer cycle, right? So they don't even have a lot of influence, right? And 95%, this is a lean data poll, 95% of people polled said the ability to deliver a consistent and seamless customer experience across the entire customer lifecycle, pre and post sale, is emerging as a key competitive differentiator. That means that a vector of disruption for your company is your sales process. And to give you a perfect example, companies like G2 are coming for your reps, right? They provide a different type of buying experience. A company like testbox.com allows you to test a bunch of products at once and see what that experience is like without ever having to chat for a rep. One of their key differentiators is saying that buying process is broken. And it gets worse over time. So this is I just came across this randomly in a post from SaaStr, and they said, wow, when you're at $500,000 in ARR and you get a 4x multiple on your sales, and as time goes on, that multiple gets worse. So you hire SDR managers and you hire VP of sales, and you just keep throwing bodies at the problem, and it becomes less efficient over time, which is not the direction that you want. And we can have both scale and quality. And so this is great data with structure, and it's quality outreach at scale. So we need to be buying better and deriving better data. So there's a great tool called clay.com where you can run programmatic Google searches on your ICP, on the domains in your entire total addressable market. I'm doing this right now. I'm looking at impact reports and then scanning those impact reports to say, tell me about how this company thinks about diversity, equity, and inclusion and how they're doing on their goals. And I can even use AI to go read through those things and give me an introduction sentence about the problem. And this is the type of testing that we need to be doing. We need to be testing systematically without reps. And it's a real challenge with a rep because you don't know which part of the system is broken. Am I targeting the wrong companies? Am I targeting the wrong channels? Am I targeting the wrong titles? Is my timing wrong? And what is the approach like? And without a system in place, there's no way that you can disentangle the learnings from the SDRs. And what's even worse is your best SDR just gets promoted to an AE. So the person that figures it out, you don't usually take those learnings. You say, great, you've done a great job for the business. You know what? I'm going to fire you from that role. And so we need to train reps to understand the market, and they should only be taking inbound leads. This is really important. So if you can build programmatic systems to run outbound, to run demand generation, then the reps can focus on understanding what is the key value that the company provides and who should they be disqualifying. Super important. Go ask your reps today. If a lead comes to you, what makes them not a good fit? And if they say something like, well, they don't have enough money to give me right now, then you know that there is a problem. And I mentioned this earlier, Testbox and G2 are coming for your awful buying process. It's a vector of disruption. Your bad sales process and your reps that aren't trained to understand your market, understand your customers are disruption here. So how do you fix this? We'll use the gas process. So I'm going to just tell you about a process that I use. So give away value for free, approach programmatically with value, and then schedule meetings with customers where the value that they experienced was great. So a perfect example of this is I'm monitoring mid-market companies for who's hiring. I take that data for a specific set of jobs, SDR jobs. I make it free on LinkedIn. I say, if you're looking for an SDR job, request access to the sheet. And then what I do is I take the best responses, people write in their whole life story in the request to the sheet, and I automate sending that to the hiring manager. I said, yo, SDR manager, it looks like you're hiring. I have 50 candidates that are totally free for you. Here's the top 3. Here's who they are. Here's their LinkedIn. Bye. Right? If I was a recruiting agency, I can automate that all day long. And I'm not talking about me. I'm not saying here's what Blueprint does. Here's like who we are. I'm talking about that customer and their problems, and I'm delivering value for free, and I can do it programmatically. And we don't have to be a victim of the bad ideas of the past. And there's this quote that I love, that we shape our tools and thereafter our tools shape us. We are in this loop that I have Apollo, I have ZoomInfo. What do I say to people? That is not the problem that we should be thinking. The thinking is like, what is the very best message that you can deliver to a customer, independent of how long it takes you to deliver that message? And then you want to reduce that cost over time. You can hire outsourcers to do this. You can hire engineers to do this. Your go-to-market can be a machine that you develop and invest in, just like you do a product. Because sales, the way it is traditionally done, and the way that a lot of founders have in their head, the 2011 model, it doesn't work anymore. This whole idea that you can just mass email your market and 1% to 2% of those people are going to reply, that's not the case, especially if you're selling into tech.